Good evening, everybody. Apologize for being a little bit late, but thank you for watching VATV. My name is Abby Nguyen, and hosting me with me today is Michelle Wu. VATV is the voice of Vietnamese Americans in the city of Boston. It is sponsored by VietAid, Vietnamese American Initiative for Development. You can watch us live every Wednesday evening from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Channel 9 if you have Comcast and Channel 15 if you have RCN. You can also go on to bnntv.org to watch us live, and if you happen to miss our live television program, it will be rebroadcast on Sunday at 5 p.m., Monday at 1 p.m., and Tuesday at 11 a.m. To watch any of our shows, please go onto our home website at vietaid.org. If you have any questions for Michelle throughout the show, we are live, so please call us at 617-708-3209. Welcome, Michelle. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Good. So I guess we're just going to go right into it. Can you let us know why should we vote for you as a Bostonian for your candidacy as Boston City Councilor at large?
Yeah, there's 6 days left until the election, so it's a question that I've been answering a lot across the city. I'm running, and I believe I'm qualified because I've seen how important city government is from the perspective of families. And that's because I've been the legal guardian of my younger sister, and so I've been very active in the schools. I'm a former restaurant owner, and I've seen how city permitting that's very complicated can actually cut out a lot of neighborhood restaurant owners and other business owners. And I'm also taking care of my mom, who is struggling with some mental health issues. So I know that even healthcare and issues that the elders in our family deal with comes down to city government. I've also had the experience of working inside City Hall for Mayor Menino, and know that when you have great ideas and energy inside City Hall, you can make a big difference.
Oh, that's very good. So, as an Asian American woman, how can you help the Vietnamese community? You know, the Vietnamese community, Dorchester especially is the home of about 15,000 Vietnamese businesses and families. So tell me what you think will you be able to
I think it's most important being a strong voice for the community and an active presence in the community, not just sitting in your City Hall office, but coming to the events. And I've been very happy to be at Vietnamese New Year and a lot of the cultural festivals all throughout the summer, and gotten to go to many of the fundraising events that the community has put on for the marathon victims and other causes. Very, very active community. I've gotten to know a lot of wonderful people. And I remember a conversation that I had a few months ago. We convened a group of Vietnamese business owners, small business owners at Pho So One, and the conversation was about small business, the ideas that I have and ways to make the process easier and make life better for neighborhoods and neighborhood businesses. And the Vietnamese business owners around the table, everybody said to me, our number one concern is public safety and making sure that our customers feel safe leaving their cars in our parking lots, our employees feel safe at night when they come to work in the evening shifts. So my priority will always be to listen to the community, because you learn that you might have some great ideas and want to do great things, but most of all, you should listen to what the community needs and then work on addressing that as well.
That's good. That's great. So tell me, so you are the guardian for your little sister. So students in the Boston Public School, they speak more than 80 different languages, and about 1/3 are English language learners, therefore are struggling to get an education and be prepared for college and entering into the workforce. Do you have any thoughts on how to help them or plans that they can work on?
Yeah, for me the most important issue is about really supporting our schools with partnerships with the community. I have seen from my sister's experiences that when a school has a great principal and it has a community that is pitching in to support the school, you can see huge improvements in a very short period of time. Even when there are students that have access to English as a second language courses, there's a lot of programming that's needed to support the student body, and we need the resources to support those programs. The tricky part is many of our schools are underperforming, and their students are being underserved because the resources aren't there to help them. So what I want to do is really make sure that every student has access to the resources in our city through visits to universities and partnering with local small businesses and local organizations to make sure that There's summer job opportunities and youth job opportunities during the school year as well. And then specifically on the English as a second language issue, really making sure that that support is starting, it's not just in schools, but supporting whole families. So when a child is at the community health center or at the YMCA, there needs to be additional connections to the classroom as well.
I see. So what about a little bit after high school or for college education, or even immigrants coming in, adult immigrants coming in and trying to get there, trying to learn English while they're working?
Yeah, we definitely need more support for workforce development and English classes throughout the city. I've gotten to tour, so talking about the two halves of that, the students and the adults or older youth often. There are some great resources in Boston Public Schools. I've toured many of them. Boston International High is often the high school that many English language learners first come to after their families have immigrated to Boston. And we need to be supporting their growth and making sure that as they're catching up in English, they're also gaining literacy in other languages. It should be a welcome environment for everybody. And then on the adult workforce development side, organizations like VATV, organizations like the Asian American Civic Association based in Chinatown are doing incredible work. But what we need to make sure of is that these services are getting out to the neighborhoods, because not everybody can make it to Chinatown, or not everybody can make it to downtown for these classes. So it's really about connecting it to where people live and where they spend their time.
That's right. So kind of just to follow along with that, the different businesses that you're trying to connect these people to and the different opportunities, budget-wise on funds, like how are we going to be able to allocate the budget and figure out where the funds are needed and how are we going to get them?
Yep, and that's one of the City Council's major responsibilities, is appropriating the funds, voting to pass the budget or not. And I would love to see a more citizen-engaged process with lots of conversations in the neighborhoods about where the priority areas are. I found as I visit organizations and neighborhood groups and residents that people in the neighborhoods know what is needed and often know how best to fix it also. So it's about really listening to community groups and then incorporating that into the budget. And there are many places, I believe, that if we could use data and technology more inside city government, it would actually streamline processes and make them more efficient so that we could put funds towards other areas of need as well.
Good. So I know you had said that you had talked to some business owners in Dorchester. I know what they would like to do is make Fuse Corner kind of a destination for culture, for different businesses, restaurants, food, of course. So can you let me know, is there a way that you've discussed with them already maybe of how to make that happen?
Yeah, I would love to see a Little Saigon designation and really focus on this as a hub for culture within the Vietnamese community and elevate that to a really important place in Boston's culture. There are a couple issues that, as we're working towards that, also need to be addressed. As I mentioned, safety and lighting often in parking lots has been a major concern that many business owners have brought up to me, and then parking on the street as well. It's often very hard to find parking along Dorchester Avenue, and some of the business owners have said to me, I have to move my car every 2 hours. And as a business owner, you might be in a meeting, you might be helping a customer, you can't be running in and out every 2 hours. So we need to figure out some system, whether it's a commercial parking pass that the business owner maybe gets 1 or 2 for their small business, but some way such that customers and employees can safely get to Fields Corner and stay there and spend some time there. Ideally spend money at multiple institutions and multiple businesses there.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So you, as a former business owner yourself, so November 5th, why should these business owners take the 15-20 minutes to go into the voting places to vote?
City government is really the level that has the most direct impact on business owners' ability to open. It's all the permitting, all of the rules and different agencies that you have to deal with are all city agencies. And I believe that as a city councilor, I'll be able to advocate for businesses and really be a voice for making the process clear and simpler and more predictable. And I want to be a voice for families too. I know that businesses are often the hubs of neighborhoods, but just as important is education and public safety and open space and parks and really making sure that there are affordable places to live, housing. So there's a lot of priorities that city government takes care of. So it's very important, no matter who you vote for, to make sure to vote November 5th.
So tell us what makes you different than the other candidates. I think we're up to 19 different candidates. So tell me what makes you different.
Yeah, so we started with 19. It was a huge field. After the September 24th preliminary, it was cut down to 8. So there are 8 of us left. Great stories, very compelling candidates, a wonderful field of choices for Boston. I have had the experience very deeply with government on the inside and on the outside, and I know both how you can get things done in city government and that it's possible. When I worked for the mayor, I made a guide to restaurant permitting, and I helped to bring food trucks to Boston by clearing the way for that permitting. But I've also been on the other end of permitting and know that when you have a complicated process, whether it's for small businesses or school registration or to renovate your home, it's really stressful on people, and you need a point of contact within government to be your advocate.
Yeah. So you said you work for the mayor, and of course it's changing times now. So how does the city of Boston need to adjust to go forward with new leadership? And what do you see the future in Boston in the next 10 years, 20 years? And what effects do you see the community?
I think there's incredible opportunity. The city of Boston is in a very strong position overall. Compared to other cities, we've been doing very well financially. I think the biggest challenges for the city are to make sure that everybody feels part of that success and opportunity, because as I travel around to different neighborhoods, you start to see that there are major gaps in access to resources. And whether it's because of language issues or cultural issues or geographic issues, being further away from downtown, we need to make sure that every single neighborhood has access to those jobs that are being brought to Boston and the quality educational options. So I want to be a voice to really connect to all of that, not just in downtown, but in every single neighborhood of Boston. And as far as what people should do, it's to participate and get involved. We have a very strong community process and community focus in Boston, but oftentimes you see the meetings there might not be that many people there, and whether we need to move it to a different time that's more convenient for people or figure out a better way to engage people, the most important thing is to participate.
Good. So what are your top priorities if you get elected?
Yeah. There's a lot of things I have been thinking about. I actually put out 50 ideas for Boston, so I'm representing 10 or 11 different categories. I'd say the overall theme is around building pipelines to opportunity and really connecting residents to resources. That boils down to 3 priorities for me. It's connecting education with employment. It is making government processes simpler, permitting, for example, and it's also really using data and technology to have residents be able to engage with government more easily.
Good. So we have about 1 minute left, Michelle, and I'm going to give you the 1 minute to let us know why Michelle and why to vote.
Great.
In closing.
Well, thank you so much for having me tonight. I'm really grateful to get the opportunity to speak with everybody. We are 6 days to go from the election, and I really respectfully ask for one of your 4 votes. I am in this race because of family. I'm the oldest of 4 kids born to immigrant parents, and I saw growing up that my parents struggled with a lot because they couldn't speak English when I was first born and didn't have a lot of money. And I want to make sure that all of the great opportunities we have in Boston are really shared with families, and that when you are trying to open your business, it is a simple, predictable process. when you're trying to register your child for school, there are lots of quality options. So I ask for your vote because I know what it's like to be dealing with government, and I also know what it's like to be inside government helping people. I think there's a huge potential for the City Council to be that voice for residents, and with your support, I will be out in the neighborhood often. I will be a strong friend of the Vietnamese community and Dorchester, and really hope that you make it to the polls November 5th, no matter who you vote for, but you get up to 4 votes for City Council at large. Please consider me for one of them.
Thank you, Michelle, so much for your time.
Thank you.
So, xin mời quý vị đi bầu vào ngày thứ Ba 5 tháng 11. And so, please, the Vietnamese community, get out there to vote on 11/15. Once again, we thank you for watching VATV. Any questions, comments, or contributions, please call us at 617-822-3717 or email us at vatv@vietaid.org. Hope you have a wonderful week, and now you may change the channel to the Red Sox. Thanks.